a world of fascinating and mind-bending facts that will not only amaze you, but also expand the balance of knowledge in your mind. These aren't just your everyday facts. They're the kind that challenge what you think you know and leave you wanting more. So, buckle up and prepare to be blown away as we take you on a journey through some of the most intriguing and mysterious corners of knowledge. Fact number 12. You've probably heard the term supermoon on TV or in the news, where they say that tonight the moon isn't just normal, it's a supermoon. But what exactly does that mean? Let's break it down. The moon sometimes appears small, and sometimes it's full and bright. This happens because of new moon and full moon phases, which are common lunar cycles. Some people think a supermoon happens on every full moon, but that's not the case. Here's the science. The moon orbits Earth in an elliptical path, not a perfect circle. That means sometimes the moon is closer to Earth and sometimes it's farther away. A supermoon occurs when this close position coincides with a full moon. This combination is rare and special. During a supermoon, the moon appears 14% larger than usual. Its brightness increases by 30%. So, a supermoon isn't just a full moon. It's a full moon that happens when the moon is closest to Earth in its elliptical orbit, making it look brighter and bigger than usual. Fascinating, isn't it? Fact number 11. In the year 1936, something happened that you might find hard to believe. During the Berlin Summer Olympics, Adolf Hitler was seated, signing autographs for people. Amidst this, a middle-aged woman approached him. She took his autograph, but then unexpectedly grabbed his face and kissed him. At the moment, Hitler didn't react aggressively. He simply smiled and continued with the event. However, internally, he was reportedly furious. Once the event was over, Hitler took drastic action. He fired over 70 members of his security team, blaming them for allowing such an incident to happen. Hitler took to maintain his authority and image. Considering his reputation, this unexpected event certainly didn't fit his idea of how the most powerful man should be treated. Fact number 10. In the year 2015, the Australian city of Nano became one of the most alcohol-addicted places in the world. The consumption there had increased so much that the government decided something big had to be done. A new system was introduced where random alcohol breath tests would be conducted on all vehicles passing by. The alcohol problem was so severe that a system was put in place where random drivers in cars would be tested. And if it was found that they hadn't consumed alcohol, their name would be written in a lucky draw. Out of all the names in that draw, one person would win $1,000 every day. After this, an impact was observed, and people started drinking less. Fact number 9. If you place your hand under normal light, a shadow of your hand will form. However, in the areas where doctors perform surgeries, if a shadow were to appear, it would create a problem. Light is, of course, essential, but during surgery, the shadow caused by the hands would disturb the doctors. Surprisingly, this doesn't happen. Amazingly, when you place your hand under surgical lights, no shadow forms at all. Surgical lights consist of multiple lights arranged in such a way that they cancel out each other's shadows. Their arrangement is uniquely designed. That's incredible. Fact number 8. Did you know there's a fascinating word scientists have coined which both exists and doesn't exist at the same time? Let's break it down. The Earth revolves around the sun. The moon revolves around the Earth. So who or what revolves around the moon? Here's where it gets interesting. If a moon-like body were to have its own satellite, it would be called a moon-moon. Yes, you heard that right, a moon-moon. This term applies to any moon in the solar system that might acquire its own smaller moon. Whether it's Earth's moon, Mars' Phobos and Deimos, Saturn's countless moons, or Jupiter's many satellites, if any of them had their own moon, it would qualify as a moon-moon. The amazing twist? No moon-moon has been discovered in our solar system. Not one. However, in the vast expanse of the universe, it's entirely possible that a moon of a moon exists somewhere out there. While the term moon-moon remains unused in our solar system, its possibility beyond is an exciting thought that captures the imagination. Fact number 7. Did you know that there's no permanent cure for the common cold? Many of you might wonder why. Let me break it down. The common cold is caused by viruses, not bacteria. When bacteria attack your body, they stay outside your cells, causing trouble. Antibiotics can kill these bacteria without harming your cells, and you recover. But viruses, they are much smarter and trickier. Instead of lingering outside, they invade your cells and use the cell's energy to multiply, essentially hiding within them. Now, here's the catch. If medicine were to target the virus, it would also destroy the infected cell. This makes finding a cure for viruses incredibly challenging. Scientists have yet to develop technology that can remove viruses from inside cells without harming the cells themselves. Take HIV, for instance. It doesn't just hide inside cells, it integrates itself into your genetic material, your DNA. Once embedded, it becomes nearly impossible to detect, making HIV one of the most dangerous viruses. While treatments exist to manage it and prolong life, there's still no cure that can completely eradicate it. As for the common cold, it gets even trickier. The viruses causing it mutate constantly. By the time medicine targets one version, a new version, like 2.0 or 3.0, emerges. So what's the solution? Your immune system. It's the ultimate defense, recognizing the infected cells and eliminating the virus from within. Medicines can help alleviate symptoms and slow down the virus's spread, but the real hero is a strong immune system. That's why staying healthy and boosting your immunity is the best defense against these tiny invaders. If you found this explanation fascinating, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss updates. Fact number 6. This is a deep and mysterious fact. There's a condition called nobility, and it affects those who have won the Nobel Prize. At first, this might seem strange to you. After all, the Nobel Prize is awarded to the most intelligent minds, so how could such a condition affect them? But it's true. Throughout history, around 992 individuals have received the Nobel Prize, and among them, about 10 to 20 have developed a unique mental condition where they start seeing themselves as the main character of the world. They begin to believe that no one is more intelligent than them. This mindset leads them to make statements that sound like they're coming from a mental patient. For instance, chemist Kary Mullis, who won the Nobel Prize in chemistry, used to say that a raccoon, a common animal in the Americas, frequently kidnapped him. Some Nobel Prize winners have claimed that aliens visit them to take their knowledge. Such bizarre claims stem from a state where an individual, overwhelmed by their achievements and success, starts to lose touch with reality. This condition, where people begin to behave irrationally or make absurd claims due to an inflated sense of self, is referred to as nobility. Fact number 5. There is an official list of the longest living people, meaning a verified list of individuals whose lifespans have been confirmed by the government. For example, people who have actually lived to be 130 or 120 years old. However, if you look at the top 50 on this list, you'll notice there are no men, only women. Now, why is that? It may sound strange, but biologically speaking, the hormones in females tend to support their cardiovascular health, meaning their heart health. On the other hand, men have a different hormonal setup that may not offer the same protection. Another reason for this could be found in history. Men were the ones fighting wars, and in those times, the world wasn't as organized. Wars were fought almost every other day, and that could have contributed to the shorter lifespans of men. This doesn't mean I'm saying that women are better or anything like that, or that men are less capable. I just want you to understand this interesting fact. Fact number 4. Here's an amazing fact for you. Imagine if one day we both went to the moon. When you get there, you'd notice a lot of incredible things, and most of them might not surprise you. After all, you're standing on the moon, right? But there's one thing that will surely shock you. First, let me tell you that the entire sky will look pitch black, completely dark. You'll finally understand what a true black night is, because on Earth, when you go outside at night, you see stars in the sky. But on the moon, there's no atmosphere, no air. You're standing on the surface, and right from there, space begins, and it's pure, pitch black space. Now, another fascinating thing. We always see the moon from Earth, and it looks huge when it's full, right? But if you were standing on the moon and looked up at Earth, you'd be shocked to see Earth appearing 13 times bigger than the moon looks from here. Yes, 13 times bigger. It's not just a fantasy as shown in movies where the moon looks enormous. If you're on the moon, Earth will look huge in the sky. And here's a math twist. The diameter of Earth is 4 times bigger than the moon's. So naturally, Earth should look 4 times bigger from the moon, right? But it looks 13 times bigger. This is because when the diameter of a sphere increases, its surface area increases much more rapidly. If you're into math, you can see the full calculation on your screen. But there's a catch when it comes to photographs. If you've ever seen a photo of Earth from the moon, it might look small, right? That's because the camera's focal length can make things look much smaller. It's like when you look at the moon with your naked eye at night, and it seems big, but when you take a picture with your phone, it looks tiny and lacks detail. So, although the Earth appears huge to your eyes, the photo won't capture it as you see it with your own eyes. Fact number 3. Here's an interesting question. What would happen if you gave a snake its own venom? Would it survive or die? The venom that snakes produce is toxic, but it's designed to affect their prey, not themselves. So if you extracted the venom from a snake and then gave it back to the snake by placing it in its own mouth, it wouldn't harm the snake. It would be fine because its body is already accustomed to handling its own venom. Now, let's take it a step further. What if you loaded the snake's venom into a syringe and injected it into its bloodstream? The answer is still no. It wouldn't harm the snake. The venom is harmful when injected into the bloodstream of another animal, but not when it enters a snake's body because it's built to handle it. However, here's the twist. If you take venom from one species of snake and inject it into another species, it could potentially kill the second snake. That's because different species of snakes have different immune systems, and venom that is harmless to one species can be lethal to another. So, a venom from one snake could be fatal if injected into a snake of a different species. Fact number 2. This is a dark and tragic fact about boxing that you might not know. Boxing matches around the world are now fought over 12 rounds, but it wasn't always this way. Matches used to have 15 rounds, and the reason for the change is tied to a tragic incident. The story involves 2 boxers, Ray Mancini and Kim Duk-koo. They had a match, and when the fight ended, it became clear that Kim Duk-koo had suffered severe injuries. Unfortunately, he passed away from these injuries. After this tragic loss, Ray Mancini, who was the opponent in the match, quit boxing. However, the darkness of this event didn't end there. Kim Duk-koo's mother, devastated by the loss of her son, took her own life by ingesting pesticides. And it didn't stop there. The referee who had officiated the match also took his own life. This match became known as one of the darkest in boxing history, and it led to a major rule change in the sport. The decision was made to reduce the number of rounds from 15 to 12 to minimize the risk of such catastrophic injuries. This heartbreaking incident shed light on the dangers of the sport, and it was a wake-up call for everyone involved. It's a tragic reminder of how high the stakes can be in boxing. Fact number 1. Here's an amazing concept about space. Did you know that there's no air in space? But what if we inflate a balloon, seal it, and then release the air in space? Technically, the air would go into the emptiness of space. So, what happens? The answer is yes. If you do this, you've technically just added Earth's air to space, and that air molecule would exist in space forever. As soon as you release it, it would start spreading. There wouldn't be any noticeable effect. It's not like the entire space will turn into a garden, but yes, the air you take from Earth would continue to travel around space permanently, and it would always be there in space. So, these were today's interesting facts. Drop a comment and let me know how you found this video. Don't forget to subscribe and keep the all option always on. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.